I just lost my best friend of 7 years in 30 seconds. And it wasn't because of a fight, it wasn't because of drama, and it wasn't because we grew apart. It was because of one simple sentence I said that made her true colors explode like a bomb going off. She went from sweet and supportive to cold and mean faster than you can blink. And here's the crazy part. This happens to almost everyone, but most people never see it coming. What I'm about to share with you will change how you see every friendship in your life. These 5 sentences are like X-ray glasses for fake friends. They cut through all the fake smiles, all the pretend caring, and show you exactly who's real and who's just using you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which friends to keep close and which ones to run from. And trust me, some of the results are going to shock you. Before we dive in, I need to tell you something important. If you're dealing with serious mental health issues or depression, please reach out to a professional. What I'm sharing today is about healthy relationships, not replacing real help when you need it. Now, here's what most people don't understand about fake friends. They're not evil villains twirling their mustaches and planning to hurt you. Most of them don't even know they're being fake. But here's what Harvard researchers discovered that changes everything. People who have fake friends in their lives are 43% more likely to feel stressed, anxious, and unhappy. That's almost half of your daily mood being destroyed by people you think care about you. I learned this the hard way when I was 25. I had this friend group that seemed perfect from the outside. We hung out every weekend, posted cute pictures together, and celebrated each other's birthdays. I thought these were my people for life. But then something happened that opened my eyes forever. I got a promotion at work. Not a huge one, just a small step up with a tiny raise. I was so excited to share the news. I called my best friend Sarah first, practically bouncing off the walls. You know what she said? Quote, "Oh, that's nice. I guess they'll promote anyone these days." The silence after that was so thick I could have cut it with a knife. In that moment, I realized something that changed everything about how I saw friendship. Real friends celebrate your wins like they're their own wins. Fake friends see your success as their failure. And that's just the beginning of what I discovered over the next few months as I started testing these sentences with different people in my life. But here's what shocked me the most. A study from the University of Michigan found that people keep fake friends around for an average of 3 years before they realize what's happening. 3 whole years of your life being drained by people who don't actually care about you. That's over 1,000 days of fake support, fake laughs, and fake love. So why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we keep people around who hurt us? Dr. Martin Seligman from the University of Pennsylvania explains it perfectly. Our brains are wired to avoid loneliness at all costs. We'd rather have a fake connection than no connection at all. But here's the problem with that thinking, and this is huge. Fake connection actually makes you feel more lonely than being alone. Think about it. Have you ever been in a room full of people but felt completely alone? That's your brain telling you something. These people aren't real friends. Your gut knows, even when your head doesn't want to accept it. Now, before I give you these 5 game-changing sentences, I need you to do something for me. Think about your current friend group right now. Picture their faces. Got them? Good. Because by the end of this video, you're going to see some of them very differently. And I know that might feel scary, but trust me, it's the best thing that could happen to you. Here's sentence number 1, and this one hits like a lightning bolt. Are you ready? Here it is. I got some amazing news today. That's it. 7 simple words that will show you exactly who your real friends are. But here's the key. You have to pay attention to their reaction in the first 3 seconds. Not their words, their faces. Not what they say, but how they say it. Real friends light up immediately. Their eyes get bigger, they lean in, they get excited before they even know what the news is. Fake friends. They do something completely different. They pause, they measure their response, and here's the biggest tell. They ask what happened with a flat voice, like they're already preparing to not be happy for you. I tested this with 12 different people in my life last year. Want to know the results? Only 3 of them passed. 3 out of 12. The other 9 either looked annoyed, changed the subject quickly, or gave me what I call the fake smile response. You know that smile, the one that doesn't reach their eyes, the one that says, "I'm smiling because I have to, not because I want to." But here's where it gets really interesting. Dr. Carol Dweck from Stanford University studied this exact behavior. She found that people with a growth mindset celebrate other people's success because they see it as proof that success is possible. People with a fixed mindset see other people's success as proof that there's less success available for them. Fake friends almost always have that fixed mindset. They think your win means their loss. Sarah, my old best friend, she failed this test so badly it wasn't even close. When I told her I got promoted, her first response was to tell me about how hard her own job was. She took my good news and made it about her problems. That's not friendship, that's emotional vampirism. Now, sentence number 2 is even more powerful, but you have to be careful how you use it. Ready? I really need some support right now. Watch what happens next, because this sentence separates real friends from fake friends faster than anything else on earth. Real friends drop everything. They don't need details, they don't need explanations, they just show up. They might say, "What's wrong?" or "What do you need?" or "I'm here." But fake friends? They panic. They suddenly remember they have somewhere to be. They get uncomfortable and try to change the subject, or they give you generic advice that makes it clear they're not really listening. I learned this lesson the hard way during the worst week of my life. My dad was in the hospital, I was dealing with work stress, and my relationship was falling apart all at the same time. I was drowning. So I reached out to 5 people I thought were close friends. I used those exact words with each of them. I really need some support right now. 2 of them never even responded to my text. 2 of them sent me motivational quotes from Google. But one friend, Jessica, called me immediately and said, "I'm coming over right now with ice cream and we're going to figure this out together." Guess which one is still in my life today? Here's what neuroscience tells us about this. When someone we care about is in pain, our brains release the same chemicals that make us want to help as when we're in pain ourselves. It's called empathy, and it's automatic in real friendships. But fake friends don't have that connection with you. Your pain doesn't trigger their help response because the emotional bond isn't actually there. And here's something most people never think about. Fake friends are often relieved when you're struggling because it makes them feel better about their own problems. Real friends feel your pain like it's their own pain. But here's where most people mess this up. They use this sentence when they're not actually struggling just to test people. Don't do that. It's not fair and it can damage real friendships. Only use this when you genuinely need support and pay attention to who shows up and who disappears. Now we're getting to sentence number 3, and this one is absolutely brutal in the best way possible. Here it is. I'm thinking about making a big change in my life. Then you stop talking and wait. The silence will tell you everything you need to know. Real friends get curious. They ask questions. They want to know what you're thinking, why you're thinking it, and how they can support you. Even if they're worried about your decision, they approach it with love and genuine concern for your happiness. Fake friends immediately start telling you why it's a bad idea. They don't ask questions, they don't try to understand, they just shoot it down. And here's the really sneaky part. They often disguise it as caring. They'll say things like, "I'm just looking out for you," or "I don't want to see you get hurt." But what they're really saying is, "I don't want you to change because your change makes me uncomfortable." I tested this sentence when I was thinking about starting my own business. I'd been working the same job for 5 years. I was miserable, and I had an idea that I was really excited about. So I shared it with my friend circle to get their thoughts. My real friends asked amazing questions. What made you think of this? How long have you been planning it? What would you need to make it work? How can I help? But my fake friends immediately went into attack mode. That sounds risky. Most businesses fail. Are you sure you want to give up your steady paycheck? Maybe you should wait until you're more established. Here's what I realized later. My real friends wanted me to be happy, even if it meant I might not be available to hang out as much. My fake friends wanted me to stay exactly the same, because my life staying the same made their lives feel safer. And here's something fascinating from psychology research. People who are insecure about their own choices get threatened when people around them make brave choices. Your courage highlights their fear, and they don't like how that feels. So they try to talk you out of being brave to make themselves feel better about playing it safe. The fourth sentence is going to surprise you because it seems so innocent. Ready for this one? I've been thinking about what you said last week. That's it. But watch what happens next, because this sentence reveals something huge about how people see your relationship. Real friends remember your conversations. They remember what you talked about, what you were worried about, what you were excited about. So when you bring up something from a previous conversation, they immediately know what you're talking about. They might say, "Oh yeah, about your job interview?" Or, "You mean about your sister?" They show that they were actually listening and that what you said mattered to them. Fake friends draw a complete blank. They have no idea what you're talking about. And instead of admitting they don't remember, they often pretend they do, which makes it even more obvious. They'll give you generic responses like, "Yeah, totally," or "Right, exactly," while clearly having no clue what conversation you're referring to. This happened to me with a girl named Lisa, who I thought was one of my closest friends. We had this deep conversation about my relationship problems. I opened up to her for like an hour about this situation with my boyfriend. Really vulnerable stuff. A week later, I said those exact words to her. "I've been thinking about what you said last week." She looked at me like I was speaking a foreign language. Then she said, "Remind me what we talked about again?" That moment hit me like a truck. This person I thought cared about me, who I'd spent hours listening to talk about her own problems, couldn't even remember a major conversation we'd had just 7 days earlier. It wasn't that she forgot the details, she had no memory of the conversation happening at all. Here's what neuroscience tells us about memory and relationships. We remember things that matter to us. If someone's problems, dreams, and feelings matter to you, your brain automatically files that information as important. But if you're just going through the motions of friendship without actually caring, that information goes in one ear and out the other. Real friends remember because they care. Fake friends forget because they don't. Now, the fifth and final sentence is the most powerful one of all, and I'm warning you right now, this one might end some friendships on the spot. But trust me, that's a good thing. Here it is. I need to be honest with you about something. Real friends lean in. They might look concerned, but they're ready to listen. They trust that whatever you're about to say is coming from a good place, and they want to work through it together. Even if they're worried about what you might say, they stay present and open. Fake friends immediately go into defense mode. Before you even finish the sentence, they're already preparing to argue. Their body language changes, their voice gets tight, and they often cut you off with something like, "If this is about what I think it's about," or "I hope you're not going to lecture me." They assume you're attacking them because deep down, they know they haven't been a good friend. I used this sentence with Sarah, my old best friend, when I finally decided to address how she'd been treating me. I said, "Sarah, I need to be honest with you about something. I've been feeling like you don't support my success, and it's been really hurting our friendship." Her response? She exploded. "I can't believe you would say that to me after everything I've done for you. You're so ungrateful. I've been nothing but supportive." She was so angry that she couldn't even hear what I was actually saying. A real friend would have said, "Tell me more about that," or "I had no idea you felt that way," or "Help me understand what I did wrong." But here's the really important part. Sometimes real friends will react badly to this sentence at first because they're hurt or surprised. The difference is, real friends will come back later and want to work it out. They'll say, "I've been thinking about what you said and I want to understand better." Fake friends just stay mad and often end the friendship rather than do the work to fix it. Dr. John Gottman, who's studied relationships for over 40 years, found that the strongest relationships are the ones where people can be honest about problems and work through them together. Weak relationships fall apart the moment someone tries to address an issue. Now let me tell you about David, because his story shows you exactly how these 5 sentences can change your entire life. David used to have this huge group of friends from college. They hung out constantly, went on trips together, and seemed super close. But David always felt drained after spending time with them. He couldn't figure out why. So he decided to test these 5 sentences with each person in the group over the course of a month. The results shocked him. Out of 8 people he considered close friends, only 2 passed even 3 out of the 5 tests. The others failed so badly it wasn't even close. But here's the beautiful part of David's story. Instead of being devastated, he felt relieved. He finally understood why he felt so empty after hanging out with them. They weren't actually his friends. They were just people he did things with. So he started investing more time in the 2 real friends and less time with the fake ones. Within 6 months, David said his happiness levels increased dramatically. He felt more supported, more understood, and more confident. Why? Because he was finally getting real friendship instead of the fake version he'd been accepting for years. And here's something amazing that happened. Those 2 real friends started introducing him to their real friends, and suddenly David had a whole new circle of people who actually cared about him. Real friends attract real friends. Fake friends attract fake friends. When you clean out the fake ones, you make room for the real ones to find you. But I know what some of you are thinking right now. What if I use these sentences and discover that most of my friends are fake? Won't I be lonely? And I get it that fear is real. But here's what I want you to understand. You're already lonely. Fake friendship is just loneliness with company. Research from UCLA shows that people with fake friends report feeling lonelier than people who are actually alone. Why? Because fake friendship gives you all the time commitment and energy drain of real friendship without any of the emotional benefits. You're doing all the work of maintaining relationships, but getting none of the support, understanding, or genuine connection that makes friendship worthwhile. Here's what happened to me after I cleaned out my fake friends. For about 2 months, I felt really lonely. I went from having plans every weekend to staying home a lot. But then something amazing started happening. I had energy again. I wasn't constantly drained from managing other people's emotions while getting nothing back. I wasn't walking on eggshells trying to keep people happy who didn't actually care about my happiness. And with all that extra energy and time, I started doing things I actually enjoyed. I joined a hiking group. I took a pottery class. I started volunteering at an animal shelter. And guess what happened? I met real friends, people who shared my interests, who celebrated my successes, who supported me during tough times, who remembered our conversations and cared about my feelings. Within 6 months of clearing out the fake friends, I had a smaller but infinitely better friend group. Instead of 12 people who drained me, I had 4 people who energized me. Instead of surface-level conversations about nothing, I had deep connections with people who actually knew me. Instead of feeling lonely in crowds, I felt understood and supported. Now, let me give you the exact action plan for using these 5 sentences safely and effectively. First, don't test everyone at once. Pick one person and try one sentence. Pay attention to their response. If they pass, try another sentence over the next few weeks. If they fail, you have important information about that relationship. Second, remember that timing matters. Don't test someone when they're stressed, sick, or dealing with their own crisis. That's not fair, and it won't give you accurate results. Test people when they're in a normal state of mind. Third, give people the benefit of the doubt on close calls. If someone's response is borderline, maybe they're just having an off day. Real friendship isn't about being perfect in every interaction. It's about showing up consistently over time. Fourth, and this is crucial, don't announce that you're testing people. Don't say, "I'm going to see if you're a real friend." Just use the sentences naturally in real situations and pay attention to the responses. Now, here's what to do when you discover someone is a fake friend. You have 3 options, and which one you choose depends on how close the relationship is and how much damage they're doing to your life. Option 1 is the slow fade. This works for casual friendships that just aren't that deep. You gradually spend less time with them, respond less quickly to their messages, and decline more of their invitations. Most of the time, they'll get the hint, and the friendship will naturally drift apart. Option 2 is the honest conversation. This works for people you've been close to who might just be going through a tough time or who might not realize how they've been acting. You sit down with them and say, "I've been feeling disconnected from our friendship lately, and I'd like to talk about it." Option 3 is the clean break. This is for people who are actively toxic, manipulative, or harmful to your mental health. You don't owe these people an explanation or a chance to change. You just stop engaging and block them if necessary. Your mental health is more important than their feelings. But here's the most important thing I want you to remember. Discovering that someone is a fake friend isn't a reflection on you. It doesn't mean you're bad at judging character or that something's wrong with you. Fake friends are really good at pretending to be real friends. They've had practice. It's not your fault for believing their act. Sarah, my former best friend, was so good at fake friendship that she fooled me for 7 years. She said all the right things, showed up to all the right events, and played the part perfectly. But when I really needed her, when I got that promotion and needed celebration, she couldn't hide her true feelings anymore. And that's when I realized that all those years, she'd been managing our friendship like a performance, not living it, like a real connection. The truth is, some people are only capable of fake friendship. They don't have the emotional capacity or security to genuinely celebrate other people's success or support them through difficulties. That's their limitation, not yours. You can't change them. You can only choose whether to accept fake friendship or wait for real friendship. And here's something beautiful that I discovered. When you stop accepting fake friendship, you become a better friend yourself. You stop trying to manage other people's emotions and start being genuinely supportive. You stop competing with your friends and start celebrating with them. You stop performing friendship and start living it. I want to tell you about my friend Marcus because his transformation shows exactly what's possible when you choose real friendship over fake friendship. Marcus used to be the guy who always had to one-up everyone's stories. If you got a promotion, he'd tell you about his bigger promotion. If you went on vacation, he'd tell you about his better vacation. He was exhausting to be around. But Marcus was smart. He realized that he was being a fake friend and that it was keeping him from having real connections. So he made a decision to change. He started celebrating other people's wins instead of competing with them. He started asking questions instead of waiting for his turn to talk. He started showing up for people instead of expecting them to show up for him. Within a year, Marcus went from having a bunch of surface-level friendships to having deep, meaningful connections with people who genuinely cared about him. And the best part, he was so much happier. Competing with your friends is exhausting. Supporting your friends is energizing. Now, before we wrap up, I need to address something important. Some of you might be thinking, what if I'm the fake friend? And if that thought crossed your mind, that's actually a good sign. Truly fake friends don't worry about being fake friends. They don't have that level of self-awareness. But if you recognize yourself in some of the fake friend behaviors I've described, here's the good news. You can change. Real friendship is a skill you can learn. It starts with genuinely caring about other people's happiness and success. It starts with listening more than you talk. It starts with showing up when people need you, even when it's not convenient. The most important thing is to be honest with yourself about your motivations in friendships. Are you friends with someone because you genuinely enjoy their company and care about their well-being? Or are you friends with them because of what they can do for you, how they make you look, or how they make you feel about yourself? Real friendship is about addition, not subtraction. Real friends add joy, support, understanding, and love to your life. Fake friends subtract energy, confidence, peace, and happiness from your life. It's really that simple. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to remember something. You deserve real friendship. You deserve people who celebrate your wins, support you during tough times, remember your conversations, welcome your honesty, and show genuine interest in your life. Don't settle for less just because you're afraid of being alone. Being alone is temporary. Being in fake friendships can waste years of your life. Choose quality over quantity every single time. Choose real over easy every single time. Choose authentic connection over comfortable familiarity every single time. If this video helped you see your friendships more clearly, I want you to do something for me. Take a screenshot of your biggest takeaway and share it on social media. Tag me so I can see how these 5 sentences are changing your relationships. And if you're ready to build deeper, more authentic connections in every area of your life, hit that subscribe button because we're just getting started on this journey together. Your real friends are out there waiting for you. But first, you have to make space for them by clearing out the fake ones. Use these 5 sentences, trust what you discover, and be brave enough to choose real friendship over fake friendship. Your future self will thank you for having the courage to demand better. Remember, you can't change other people, but you can change who you allow into your life. You can't control how others treat you, but you can control how much access they have to your time, energy, and heart. You deserve friendships that fill you up instead of drain you down. You deserve people who are as excited about your success as you are. You deserve real love, real support, and real friendship. The choice is yours. Choose wisely, choose bravely, choose real.